But there's now more and more research saying the importance of the small talk and the sense of that social integration is so important for our longevity. It's one of the most important factors they found, that as well as close relationships. So I think especially during our disconnected world right now, I think the importance of saying hello and how are you? It's a lovely day, isn't it? Those little chats are so part of the human experience and part of the sense of the sense of tribe and the collective, which we all crave to be a part of.
Season 3 of the Plant Strong podcast explores those Galileo moments where you seek to understand the real truth around your health and dare to see the world through a different lens. This season, we honor those courageous seekers who are paving the way for you and me. So grab your telescope, point it towards your future, and let's get plant strong together.
Hi, I'm Rip Esselstyn, and I want to welcome you to the Plant Strong podcast. Today, I am incredibly excited to be your tour guide into the magical and enchanting world of the Happy Pear, David and Stephen Flynn. For over 16 years, these Irish twin brothers have been making waves in the plant-based world and jumping into them with their daily sunrise ocean swims, which, as you'll hear today, is one of their daily must-dos for energy, creativity, and vitality. This is why I knew we'd get along so well, because, as I'm sure you know, my daily swims are also one of my keys to success. We talked about how these two former tough guy, meat-loving rugby players transformed into plant-strong powerhouses. We talked yoga, handstands, meditation, cooking, building community, spreading joy, and a lot more. I've been wanting to talk to these laddies for a while now, and I hope you loved the conversation as much as I did, because when you interview the Happy Pear, you just kick back and let them go. Well, let's go with Stephen and David Flynn, the Happy Pear.
All right, here we are, the Plant Strong podcast. I have got David and Stephen Flynn. I've been wanting to have you guys on the podcast for a long time, but now is the time. And in season 3 of the podcast, guys, we're really kind of focusing in on a lot of the trailblazers in the plant-based movement that are kind of paving the way for a lot of other people. And at some point, you guys had a Galileo moment where you decided that there was something about plants that really resonated with you. And it's informed your life's journey and passion. So I want to talk about all that. But first, I want you guys to know, I don't know. I mean, outside of, yes, my sister came and visited you guys like 2 years ago with her family. And I know you guys have written a bunch of books and you've got, a bakery and you guys are doing all this cool stuff, but I don't know too much more about you guys, right? So I want to dive in. So just know I may be asking you questions that you've answered a jillion times, but for me, it's the first time I've heard these answers. Okay. So let's start. I want to start just with the basics. So You guys call yourselves the Happy Pear, right? The Happy Pear. So why the Happy Pear? I love the name, but I'm intrigued with it.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to take it even back before that. So we're identical twins, Dave and Steve. We're both 41 now. But we grew up in a small little town in Ireland, which is called Greystones. And we grew up as a family of 4 boys. And being identical twins, like from an all boys family, we were hyper competitive. You were just competing for dinner, competing for clothes, competing for attention. And that was kind of the schooling kind of thing. And we were kind of overachievers, as being identical twins. We were, by the time we started college, we were playing semi-pro rugby. I was playing off scratch and golf. We were doing modeling. We were studying business. We were overachievers in loads of things. And we were eating a standard diet, meat and 2 veg, loads of pints. We were jocks. Like we used to wear Ralph Lauren shirts and we short hair back and sides. And we were, that was our kind of, definition or identity back then. And we'd never really questioned what we eat and how it affected us. Food was just fuel. It was something you just ate. And being Irish,
when you went out socializing, you drank a load of beer. And that was that. Great. And then age 21, I remember I just finished university, and we had. So that was 20 years ago.
Stop just for a sec. So before you go into the 21 and that journey, I want to know, like, tell me a little bit about your other brothers and your mom and your dad. Like, was this a happy family you guys grew up in?
Yeah, it was like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All of us 4 brothers, like, we were a pack. We were, our mother was there. She was the Sergeant General of 4 boys. Like, she's a strong, dominant Irish mother that would like loving, but she's powerful. She was the pack leader.
And were you guys the oldest, or where did you guys come?
We're the eldest. I'm 15 minutes older than Dave, and then Mark's 2.5 years younger, and then Dara's 2.5 years younger. So 4 boys, very sporty. Mom would kind of like see us like a pack of dogs, just get you out to chase a ball all day long and just burn off that energy. So we were very sporty, very happy home. And
what did your father do for work?
He was an engineer, so he worked, and Mom was a teacher. But when the 4 boys came along, she had to give up that and focus on feeding the boys and all that kind of stuff. So So that was that thing. And then growing up in a small little town, it was lovely. Everyone knew everyone. It was nice and small, and very wholesome little town.
Yeah. Now you guys, obviously identical twins. I remember Jane telling me the way you can tell them apart, the easiest way is David's got a little extra fleck of hair right there, right?
Very good. Jeez, good detail.
Yeah, Dave has a dynamic hairline, and Steve has a straight hairline.
Yeah, exactly. Now, is it true? Because I heard somewhere recently that one of you is right-handed and one of you is left-handed. Is that true or false?
Yeah, you were mirror twins. So I'm right-handed, he's left-handed. I'm right-footed, he's left-footed. I'm right-brained, he's left-brained. No, but we are.
It was funny though. Back about 5 years. Was it 5 years ago? We were probably involved in a study in University College Dublin where they were comparing the lifestyle factors of identical twins versus non-identical twins. And I remember
on metabolic rate, on their metabolic rate.
And they brought us in and they put us in a bod pod and all this type of stuff. But I remember they did a zygote test to measure were we actually identical or fraternal twins. And I remember we lived our whole life as identical twins. I remember that moment was like, oh my God, I'm going to have an existential crisis if I'm not an identical twin. Right. And it turned out of the 90 sets of twins, we were the most identical. We were mirror twins.
So we won. We won.
Yes.
Woo! So let's get back. Before I interrupted you.
Okay, so heroes. So we'd reached 21, happy upbringing. Like we were doing what we were meant to do. Society said you needed to be good at sport. You needed to, as a male, you needed to be good at trying to chat up girls. You needed to be able to drink loads of pints and eat loads of burgers. And we did all that. And we studied business, and we'd done all the things you were meant to do, and we still felt a certain emptiness inside of ourselves. So at 21, this is 20 years ago, Steve said to me one Christmas, he said,
wait, time out again. I got to keep interrupting because so when you say you felt a certain emptiness, was that something you both felt? And did you look at each other and go, man, I feel like something's missing, or what how did that
I think it was a deeper sense. I think it was more a curiosity and a deeper sense that there must be more than money makes you happy, or you meet a pretty girl and that makes you happy, or whatever it was. Like there must be more than what society had been telling us makes us happy. That was really the crux of it.
This kind of American dream that we were being sold over here in Ireland just didn't seem, it just felt like there's got to be more to life. It
seemed a bit veneery. There must have been more substance. So Steve, one Christmas, he says, Dave, I don't buy this anymore. He says, I don't feel happy. I'm going away. I'm getting a one-way ticket. I'm going to Canada. You're not coming with me. And I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back till I know what I'm into and I'm happy.
Wait. Now. So, Stephen, you're like, okay, I'm going to Canada by myself. What's the longest period of time that you two had been apart before that?
When we were 16, we went to boarding school in France for 3 months. So that was the longest time. And outside of that, it might have been a night, or it probably wouldn't have even been a night.
Yeah. So it was a big deal.
like we shared a wardrobe up until we were 30, really, so it was literally first up, best dressed.
And so how hard was that when you guys were away from each other for 3 months? Was it nice, a nice experiment, or was it painful?
I think it was something that was needed, the way sometimes, you got to kind of, prune the apple tree in spring, so that it fruits more better. That sounds weird. But, as in, we kind of felt like we'd never really learned how to be individuals, and we kind of needed to, you're called, all our life we were called Flynn twin, or often you're referred as which one are you, or Steve Dave, so it was like, maybe let's go and learn what it's like to be able to stand on our own 2 feet and just be an individual.
Okay. But at 16, with that was really just dipping our toe in the water. It wasn't until 21 where Steve went away separately, and we both had to kind of go, wow, what am I? Who the hell am I when I'm not a twin? What all this kind of like quite an identity crisis in a sense. And we left, just to carry on that we left, like Steve went to Canada, to Vancouver, and he went to be a snowboard instructor, and I went to South Africa to go be a golf pro. So this is 20 years ago. And both and as we said, we left as jocks. We were pint swilling, burger munching, like rugby playing, women chasing, jocks, like we really were. And
but I've seen photos of you guys back when you were like 20, 21. You didn't look that shredded. Today, you guys look like you're buff. Like now you look like the rugby players. Back then you looked like little scrawny nerds.
No. Back then, no, that was one photo. But no, back then we were shredded. Maybe that was a photo, optical illusion. Back then we did have big, thick necks, and we were big. We were rugby players. You wouldn't have mistaken us for anything else anyway.
Okay.
And
we didn't have that delicacy, we were rough.
We were primates. and we ended up it was the first time we'd gone outside of our own social conditioning, if you get it. And both of us kind of wanted to go, well, who am I outside of my own surroundings? Like, who am I? And it was like, why do I just drink beer? Why do I eat meat? Like all these things, you had to kind of answer these questions. So both of us independently, this was pre-social media, and I think we'd Hotmail accounts,
which you checked once a week, in
an internet cafe, and we both independently became vegetarian and then became vegan, very quickly after leaving at 21, and then that kind of catalyzed this journey of exploring food and seeing how far we could push it, and exploring kind of the different ways of life, and to see what made sense to us. I remember, tree planting in going from living in Whistler as a snowboard instructor to tree planting in northern Canada, living with a group of Christians, to going to Burning Man, to going living on a polyamorous community, to going to meditation centers, to hitchhiking all the way across America, just to try to see the different ways people were living and to see what kind of felt most congruent with me. But it was very interesting. But I guess we went from there. As we said, we left as jocks, and then one day, 2 years later, I had traveled all through Central America. We'd both been hitching, living kind of out of a bag for a couple of years, and then one day, and we'd become vegan at this stage, and we'd both given up alcohol, and we were deep into meditation, and we'd long hairs and beards and strong offensive body odors. And Steve calls me up one day and he says, Dave, I got this idea. Dave, do you want to start this food revolution? And these are the words that he used. I'm like, Steve, yeah, let's do it. And I think it's going to be some cool marches. And we're going to lead the rebellion, Steve. Yeah. And he says, do you want to start a vegetable shop, Dave? Vegetable shop and revolution? I don't get you, Steve. And he says, trust me, Dave. Trust me on this one. And we came home. So we came home as two 24-year-olds that were now these total hippies, quintessential hippies. And we were starting a vegetable shop, and we had a little red van, and we were in a small town. So people thought we had totally lost our way.
And we I had this, I guess, burning desire within me to try to create a food revolution, I called it. And it was a sense of just trying to, I guess we'd seen how diet had been kind of a touch point in so much of our lives, and it really helped catalyze so much positive change in our lives, that we wanted to try to inspire others to do that. And I was adamant. I'd come from having a degree and a master's in business. So I very much bought into the money thing, just suddenly thrown it all out the window. And I kind of wanted to start a charity, because this wasn't about money. This was about the revolution.
Yeah.
And right from the start, we used to go to local schools and try to make food. If Coca-Cola could be sexy, well, why couldn't bananas and melons and cucumbers and beautiful fruits? We used to go into schools and make smoothies and really just try to get a ripple going. And you know, we called it the Happy Pear, back to your original question, because there was two of us. And we
Yes,
started a fruit shop and we were selling pears. So it was literally a vegetable shop. And at the time, I remember, this is in 2004. So in a small town in Ireland, and we started a vegetable shop in a cafe next door, which was a vegan, you know, plant-based cafe. And yeah, I remember at the time people kind of go, they must be selling drugs out the back. You know, like it was that kind of attitude where people thought we'd lost our way. And here were these two young lads that were going places, and now they were a pair of strange hippies that were selling vegetables, you know.
And they were living quite differently, because Greystones, when we first started the shop, was quite a conservative little town. It was quite, you know, we were kind of sticking our neck out there, having a degree or a master's in business, and to be driving a van, stinking a cabbage was kind of, they didn't go hand in hand.
Yeah, we were meant to be wearing suits and going, working in Dublin and being stockbrokers or something. You know, that would have been more normal. So when we started, it was kind of going against the grain.
Now, and what did your family think? What did your mom and your dad and your two brothers think of what you guys were doing? Were they supportive?
Yeah, mom and dad were hugely supportive. I guess they kind of realized that we were probably reasonably unemployable because we were so much our own thinkers. And that I kind of had this strong desire that I wanted to try to use business as a vehicle for social change. And thankfully, mom and dad knew we needed to do something really physical and something that we were in our bodies rather than just sit at a laptop in an office. So, you know, they thought, great, go for it, lads.
They'd always instilled in us that they both worked for the man, as they call it. Yeah. And they always wanted us to kind of do chart our own course and kind of do our own thing. So they always, like mom used to, when we were 16, she helped us sell Christmas trees. We used to sell Christmas trees, and from the garden.
I used to sell fake IDs in school.
Like, yeah, she didn't know about that, but they were always encouraging side hustles with us, you know.
Well, so your Instagram post today, you guys have an Instagram post today, and it says, roughly, let go of other people's expectations and opinions and follow the call of your own voice. This to me epitomizes that. And you guys were doing this, you know, 19, 20 years ago, it seems, right? Following that inner voice that that Stephen was like, dude, let's do it. Let's do this food revolution. So you started this, was it in Greystone? And is that where you are now? Where are you today? Same place?
The exact same building we started in, and we went from me and Steve with a little van and then we opened a cafe, and then within 10 years it went to employing 200 people and turning over more than 10 million and having food products all around Ireland and online courses and books, and you know, it kind of exploded and maybe it was 15 years or something,
but it was more like 15.
Maybe it was 15 years.
Let's take a step back, because I want to talk about the world of the Happy Pear and how it started and how it's grown and where it is today. And like, how many books do you have, and how many, you know, shops and bakeries and employees, because it is amazing what you guys have created.
So thank you, Rip. Thanks a million. So it's kind of swelled from that one little cafe, and we just kept following our nose. There was no business plan or no strategy, never. Like, and
we kind of measured business success probably in the first 10 years, not by financial gain, but by vibe, by the atmosphere, and the sense of momentum, the sense of kind of
integrity and authenticity within it, in a sense. But it kind of slowly, it kind of moved on to where we started making products like pestos and hummuses. We originally started a spread farm where our brother was doing triathletes for Ireland, and he wanted to get the edge.
Triathlons.
Oh, triathlons.
He was a triathlete.
So he was growing a lot of wheatgrass and sprouts. So we kind of kept that going, and we built a sprout farm, and we started growing that. And then at one stage, there was a really bad winter and he didn't have a crop or something. So he started selling pesto that Stephen used to make, and people loved the pesto. And then we started making more pesto and more hummuses. And then we started making granolas. And now we have about 50 products.
I think we have about 50 products, about 1,000 stores around Ireland. And we have some in Dubai, and hopefully we have some in the UK next year. So
they're all plant-based, you know, whole food. Maybe not all of them are completely whole food, but they're all like, you know, very integral, clean decks, no nasties.
You guys should hook up with Derek Sarnow and get your stuff in Tesco and make sure that you got it everywhere. Maybe he can help you out. Maybe you guys.
We know Derek's brilliant. Yeah.
He's doing great work.
He's a lovely, genuine, gorgeous man.
Yeah,
Muslim man.
Yeah, I just had Derek and I were on the same team at Whole Foods for probably 5 years. And then he went to go live over there in the UK and work with Tesco. And I just had him on the podcast about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, Derek's doing really well.
Small world. Yeah, we've hung out with Derek a few times in London. I guess our circles are, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Okay, so now did you say that you now have close to 200 people that are?
Yeah, we did. We made, like, I guess at one stage, and this is part of it. This is kind of, it might be an interesting story. At some point, it's intoxicating when the business is growing and everyone's telling you, oh my God, how many cafes do you have? How many? And you kind of get all these signals from society that growth is better and bigger is better. So at one point, this is back maybe 5 years ago, we borrowed 1.5 million and we were growing. We were going to open another 5 cafes and we were going for it.
And we set up a central production facility, which we called Pearville. So it's, we could call it a factory where we're going to produce a lot of the food to distribute to these 5 or 10 cafes, which we had hoped. And we opened our 3rd cafe in Dublin. And I found out we were kind of busier than ever. I found out I wasn't swimming in the sea as much. I wasn't training as much. And, this
wasn't walking the kids to school. Like our life had shifted. And by a kind of chance circumstances, we ended up, a guy who I had done my thesis on, this guy, Charles Handy, this business philosopher. We had just randomly, like nothing being random, we bumped into him. He's 86. He invites us over to Cambridge, where he's got a farm. He says, why don't you come over there one afternoon? And we flew over. We had this 86-year-old man cooked us a lovely vegan lunch, and we had dinner with him in his study discussing what is success, what is meaning, and why you're doing what you're doing. And through this conversation, he kind of made us, it became quite obvious that we were crazy growing, just going for growth for the sake of growth. And it reminded us that small is beautiful. And I guess we've slowly been kind of coming back from 200, and COVID has fast tracked that, obviously.
Yeah. So I guess the focus now is, instead of kind of exponential growth, it's how can we do more beautiful and do it better and enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? And I hear you there. I can tell you, just in my own world, right? Trying to find the balance where you can be present in everything you're doing, and you're not constantly thinking about the next thing. When you're with your wife, you're with your wife. When you're with your kids and your family, you're with them. When you're doing your business stuff, you're doing that. And it just doesn't get absolutely chaotic. And it sounds like this trip to go visit this 86 or 87-year-old was turned out to be quite an epiphany. And that's a good thing.
It kind of helped us really recalibrate. And now the business, we still, pre-COVID, we had 4 cafes. One of them we've closed down. We find it easier now to focus on products and online courses. So this is tie in with your father. Back about 10 years ago, we were doing, we started out, I wasn't a trained chef, but the first chef we hired, this is back about 16 years ago, the great Doreen Palmer. There wasn't any kind of cordon vert schools or any kind of plant-based culinary schools you could go to. So we decided we want to start a cafe, and we hired this lady, Doreen Palmer, in. And Doreen, one of these magical ladies that she could have been 50, 200 or 25. Age was totally...
She grew, like her feet were so rooted in the ground, and birds used to land on her shoulders.
Magical, wonderful lady that had been teaching kind of vegetarian whole food cooking for about 30 years, came, and she was our chef. So when you're running your business and the chef is the most the best paid person, and they need holidays, you quickly realize, I better learn how to cook. So, and then when you run your own cafe, if you have poor food, you've no customers. So you quickly learn how to cook and how to cook well. So we kind of did that for a number of years. And we used to do kind of healthy eating talks and kind of cooking demos upstairs in our cafe. And, 20 people would come along and, they'd have a good laugh. But then the next day you'd walk past, the chip shop, and they'd be eating chips and burgers, and you'd walk past and they'd look guilty. And you kind of realized, this ain't working.
And I think it was quite similar to your original experiment with the firefighters. I think with that and Dean Ornish's work, it was like, okay, will this work in Ireland? Like, does this actually work in Ireland? And this is 10 years ago. We did it upstairs above our vegetable shop, and we had 20 people. We put up, just like you.
And this is us being total chances. Just going, I wonder will this work? I don't know. Ash will have a shot at it.
And we ended up getting a nurse, and we got 20 people from the community that signed up, and they probably signed up out of curiosity of going, what are these crazy lads up to? Boredom. They signed up out of boredom or whatever. But we had 20 people come along, and they came once a week for 4 weeks. And the first night, Angela, our nurse, measured everyone's cholesterol, weight, and blood pressure. This is 10 years ago now. And then we as chefs, we just passed around food and got them to taste stuff. And they came once a week for 4 weeks.
And most people would have been meat and 2 veg. This was a big shift, talking about lentils in Ireland 10 years ago.
Exactly, as you notice, that you've been through this just as much as we have. And obviously the results were incredible after 4 weeks, and we did more and more of them. They got bigger and bigger, and
then it started. There was the national newspaper started to do articles and started to get too busy, and it was like, this is too busy. I don't want to be doing courses all the time. I'm enjoying cooking and going to the markets and all this. So we kind of had the idea, let's build one online. So we built an online course back when people were kind of nervous about putting their credit card details into the internet.
And I think it was 8 years ago. And back then I got in touch with your mom. It was with your mom and your dad about getting your dad to, will he have a look at it? So your mom would feed information to your dad. Yeah. And Caldwell would kind of go, yes. And we had a few conversations.
Phone calls, and they were the sweetest, most lovely people, and you're just like, my God, you're so supportive and encouraging. And we're 2 little chancers in Ireland. And here you are, like, as heroes to us. Because I remember reading your dad's book and going, wow, this is, it was a lovely moment.
And Colin T. Campbell as well. They kind of gave us a bit of support behind it, and we've kind of gone with that. And now it's kind of gone from that original Happy Heart course, which was very slow to get going for the first 4 years as an online product. And now we've got 6 courses where we've had more than 50,000 people through them in more than 120 countries now. And we partner with doctors and consultant gastroenterologists, and Joe Kahn is the cardiologist for Happy Heart now.
And
it's really fun. It's amazing. And it's the same type of journey which you've had in terms of
encouraging people, supporting people really see the whole food plant-based diet. And that's really it. So it's wonderful.
Now, so did you guys go to chef school, or did you just learn from this woman that had the birds landing on her shoulder?
Yeah, so I would have trained under her, and then I guess you do it every day, and you run kitchens for 10 years, and you quickly get to know a lot of it, the way.
And then I guess we started after about, maybe must have been about 7 years ago, we got an email from Jamie Oliver's team asking if we'd be part of his food tube channel, which was a YouTube channel.
Woo!
As vegan chefs that were dads, would we come over and be part of that? So that got us into YouTube. And when you're in YouTube, you've got to innovate and get people's attention quickly. So you've got to learn really quick how to be very innovative, really drive things on. So I think we've shot about 500 videos on that, and we've got, nearly 40 million views, and you kind of learn how to really iterate and create and be relevant. So that's been a very fun.
And then I think the same way with writing cookbooks helps you kind of distill things and really kind of, like when you're cooking, to reduce a sauce, it helps you kind of reduce the information of cooking and how to make it relevant to someone at home in a kitchen with an aubergine or an eggplant going, what do I do with this?
Well, I am so, I was just going through your Instagram page, and it is such a look into the fun, whimsical, creative, artistic, beautiful lives, active lives that you guys, lead on a daily basis. And I look at it and I'm like, I want part of this world, right? I want in. You guys have done a really tremendous job. But who does all your photography and like the food shots and really?
Yeah.
Stephen, you're doing a bang up job.
Thank you, Rip.
And then, so you guys have written like what, 5, 6 books, 7 books?
Yeah, we've written 5. We're writing our 6th one now.
Oh my gosh, you just never end. So do you both write, or how does that work?
Yeah, it depends. Like usually I write words. Like I'm better at words. And this next book we're writing, we're both writing it together, which is fun. It's all recipes, all food. So this is fun.
Like they go through processes. I remember, like, say the first book, I remember we got approached by a publisher in London to do a cookbook. And it was like, a cookbook? Us? What? And when you get a contract, we aren't used to seeing contracts like, ooh, and we didn't end up doing it. And then I remember the publishers from Penguin contacted us, and we went in and we met them. And it was like sitting down with, I don't know if you ever grew up reading Roald Dahl or Enid Blyton. And it was like sitting down with these wonderful, educated people that use great vocabulary, and you were drinking out of the good chine. It felt like, I really want to have friends like this, Dave. Can we sign with Penguin? We signed with Penguin, and Penguin said, if you're a chef that has a TV show in Ireland, you might sell 2,000 copies. But they said, because you lads have a shop, we'll print 6,000 and, you'll sell them over 10 years. And we went, okay, great. And we were a bit nervous, like 6,000 copies. And it's not only a cookbook, it's a vegetarian cookbook. And the book came out, I think it was in October. And I remember I was away, and I remember phoning Dave, what's happening? And Dave said, you'll never believe it. Some fella got up and he drove 2 hours, and he wants me to write my name on his book. I couldn't get over this. This was amazing.
Yeah.
And the book came out within 2 months. We'd sold the 6,000 copies, and it was the #1 best-selling cookbook in Ireland that year. Then the following year, it outsold Jamie Oliver and Nigella Lawson 2 copies to 1. So it was one of those things that just exploded in an unfortunate way.
And are you still with Penguin?
Yeah, with Penguin. Yeah, it's. I guess we found, I guess, through our business that it's kind of partnership and having those deeper relationships is, makes it more fun and more enriching, and you get to share the journey more with people that you trust and you care about.
Absolutely. Well, they must be overjoyed with the success that you guys have helped bring them. Wow. Incredible.
We'll be right back with the Happy Pear. But first, I want to remind everyone that Mother's Day is literally right around the corner. But no need to fret. We've got you covered. Simply head over to plantstrong.com/garden and sign up to receive one of our limited edition Plant Strong Spring Culinary Experience boxes. This is the second in a series of at-home cooking classes in partnership with our friends at the Chef's Garden, a regenerative farm near the shores of Lake Erie that has some of the most fertile soil on the planet. You can sign up today and then make a date with Mom or with anyone who will appreciate this fun culinary activity to come together to make a 4-course spring dinner that is out of sight. These boxes will begin to ship on May 17th, and they include premium hand-picked produce, a full library of videos that show you how Chef Jamie taught my mom and me to make this meal, and beautiful printed recipe cards. Visit plantstrong.com/garden today for all the details. And now, let's get back to my visit with the Happy Pear.
One of the things that I see you guys are doing, and it seems like when it's possible, a daily basis, is meditation and breath work. Can you just talk to our listeners about that?
Can I tell a story about this though?
No, okay. I would love it. But before you do, I have to chime in. So you guys did Vipassana meditation, didn't you, when you were 20?
Yes.
So my brother, I got a younger brother, Zeb, that's probably done, no joke, 30 of those Vipassana 10-day meditation courses. And wow. 30 of them. And anyway, I haven't done one yet, but I feel like I should, because a lot of good would probably come from it. But okay, go ahead.
And what's your brother like? Is he pretty tuned in and very...
Oh yeah, no, he practiced Buddhism for, off the grid for like 6-7 years. Oh yeah. He's
a Jedi master.
Yeah. Trying to be, yes.
like all of us. But I remember it was back when we were like 21 or 22. Dad called us up one time. He says, lads, I went to see this big tall lad with massive hands in New York. If you can get yourself to New York, it was Tony Robbins. He went to Tony Robbins seminar. He said, I think you'd really enjoy it. You'd have great fun. So he said, if you can get yourselves to New York, I'll pay for your ticket. So we ended up going to New York, and we went to Tony Robbins seminar, which was gas crack. It was
gas means funny in
and
Irish.
Crack means fun in Irish. So it was really good fun.
Yeah.
And we went straight from there to a 10-day silent Vipassana retreat. So we went straight from Tony Robbins of, you can do it, you can have it, you can beat it. And so much fun, really. And then we went to the polar opposite of 10 days, no talking, no phones, no books, no looking at anyone. A lot of the time in the dark, in a cross-legged position for 10 days. And we ended up staying there for a month.
And what was more powerful? What was more powerful, the Tony Robbins or the meditation?
I think it was the meditation. Like they were both wonderful in their own different ways, but the meditation was more profound and had a more deeper inner resolve, which was nice.
Well, I think one was more about extrinsic success, whereas the other one was more about intrinsic. So extrinsic or extrinsic meaning or external, you're more focused on the accumulation of material possessions, whereas the other one was more like you have to sit and face your demons and have to sit with yourself and just observe, you know, the craziness of your own mind.
You just sit there with the great sword of truth.
So
that was the kind of formation of Vipassana was at the root of it. And for probably 5 years after that, before we had kids, we used to meditate 2 hours a day, an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. And that was
every day.
That was every day. And that was even when we used to go to the fruit market. We used to have to get up at 4:30 a.m. to go to the fruit market. And we used to get up at 3:30 and meditate, like meditate for an hour before we'd go to the fruit market. Like we were like a pair of monks. We were very monastic. We'd come back in the evening and we'd meditate like we were.
Yeah, we're pretty hardcore.
And now, can you meditate like lying down, or do you have to be sitting up and in
position? I'd sit cross-legged.
Yes. Oh, well, I then I fall asleep.
Yeah. No, that's not meditation. That's napping.
But I think I guess over recent years when life has got really busy and we've young kids, not together, but with our own partners, with kids. And I guess as the business became more demanding, we kind of lost the practice of meditation. And it's only in recent years we've really got back and realized how important it is. And I think for anyone listening, you know, meditation doesn't have to be sitting there chanting. It could be having a cup of tea. I think meditation is the simple practice is practicing being present or anchoring your attention in something and focusing it. So it could be walking, it could be spending time in nature, it could be playing with your kids, it could be having beers with friends, but anything that brings you back to that present moment and helps you focus your attention.
And I think it's also back to like we live in nowadays, there's so much distraction where if you can concentrate and focus, it is a superpower in today's day and age of binging and buzzing and vibrations and notifications and so many calls on our attention. So I think meditation for us is really the discipline. It's almost like gym for your mind in terms of training your attention. You sit there, it starts planning your day, and then you come back to your breath. You sit there and it starts thinking about the car that went by and it's a red car. And is it like my car? Maybe it's Paula and her car. Oh, and then you come back again. Oh, my breath, my sensations. Yeah. And I think it's a wonderful gym for your mind. I think is how I like, or for your soul, really.
Do you meditate? Do you meditate at all, Rip?
I don't. No. I was talking to Rich Roll maybe a couple months ago. I had him on the podcast and we talked about it. And I was like, okay, I got to start meditating. And I haven't yet. I would say that my meditation is getting up. It's going to swim practice. It's kind of meditation in motion. And Rich was like, nah, you need to sit still.
He knows.
Yeah, he's a swimmer, so he knows all about that.
Yeah. No, I don't have a meditation program. No, I don't.
there was a friend was encouraging another friend there recently, and he was saying to her, just start with 1 minute a day. Yeah. Start with 1 minute a day and build it by 1 minute until you get to 5 and see if that's sustainable. Because like 1 minute is quite sustainable, and 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and then like you could probably make it to 5 and then see how that is.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good entry point.
Now, you guys both are married, correct?
I was separated for 7 years, and now I'll probably get married again this year.
And do you both have children?
Yeah.
Okay.
10. We both have 10-year-olds. We both have 7-year-olds, and then he's got a 3-year-old as well.
Wow. It's funny. I guess being twins, so much of your life or so much of our lives have been insistent. So it was like literally, my wife got pregnant, Dave's wife got pregnant, and we weren't planning it. And then similarly, like after then our next kids were almost within 2 months of each other.
Yeah, so pretty amazing. Our first 2 kids.
So they're all very close, and we're very fortunate in that way.
Oh my gosh! And then boys, girls, what do you have?
I have 2 girls, and he has 2 boys and a girl.
Incredible. So I've got 3, and I'm very close to you guys. I got married way late in life. I've got a 13-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Wow. And what are they? Are they boys or girls? Or
no? So the oldest is a boy, and then the middle and the youngest are girls. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got 10 and 7 girls. I've got 10 and 7 girls as well.
Yes.
At what age did you get married at then?
I was 40, almost 44.
Wow, good man.
Yeah. No, I took.
Well, I'm gonna do round 2, and I'll be 41. So,
wait, how old are you guys right now?
41.
40. Oh my gosh, you guys are young. That is so phenomenal. You've done so much. You got so much more to do. It's exciting. Now I'm going to say one word, and then I want you guys to talk about it. Handstands, like handstands. Why do you guys love handstands?
Because it's the simplest way. You like say we do it before anything. Like I'll always do handstands and maybe hold it for 30 seconds or something, because all the blood flows to your brain. You might be feeling, I feel a bit tired. I feel a bit creaky. I don't feel like I'm buzzing. Do a handstand and you feel like a kid. You feel playful. You feel stupid. And it makes you, sends loads of blood.
And it kind of changes your perspective. You're literally looking at things another way. So.
It turns life on its head.
But it's also, I guess we've always joked about, we always wanted to be in a circus. And I think it's fun as we get older, at least we found a lot of our friends that, you stop kind of starting new hobbies and learning new tricks and new skills. And I guess we see handstands as a fun little, I can hold a handstand. Can I do a one-arm handstand? Can I do a Mexican? Oh, can I do a front flip? Oh, we're really enjoying just the art of play.
Yeah. And how often do you either do the art of play, handstands, yoga? Is this a daily ritual?
Yeah. It certainly used to be. Like the last month we've been writing a book, and I've been moving house. So we've been prioritizing those things. But for the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years, we'd meet most mornings, I'd say 5 or 6 mornings a week at 6 a.m. and we train for an hour. So we do, whether it's yoga or handstands or animal movement or a run or some form of physical play.
And we'd always back pre-COVID, because we'd often put things up on social media, we'd have different people coming and visiting and they'd want to be a part of it. So you could get someone coming in who was like
a dancer teaching you how to dance, or someone else coming in to teach you how to do
drumming yoga or Pilates
or some kind of new breath thing. It was very fun pre-COVID that people would just drop in randomly. Oh, I'll come in and I'll do a class with you on such and such. And so we've kind of almost consciously, I think it was unconsciously first, that things kind of doing different things all the time. So it's not just one yoga practice that's static. It's kind of being,
and your body becomes very limited. We found we did about 15 years, almost 20 years of Ashtanga yoga, very serious Ashtanga yoga. And it can be quite competitive and quite almost abrasive or I would say stiffness, almost, the way yoga, you're doing it to be more flexible. But if you just do the one kind of set of movements, you become stiff in those movements. So we've now, over the last 5 years, I'd say, become a lot more varied with our movement and realize that flexibility is the king of all as you get older, rather than being able to bench press loads of weights.
No. Totally hear you. So you guys, and just like looking at your Instagram, looking at the covers of your books, seeing you guys right now, you two are some of the most fashionable guys that I know, right? But it's this relaxed, like, I don't give a damn, like kind of like fashion, right? Whether it's the blue jean shorts without the shirt, whether it's the flannel top, with the jeans or the shorts or the flip-flops or whatever the look is. Is this intentional, or is this just the look that you guys feel most like authentic and you in?
Yeah, I'd say it's completely authentic, because we're like a pair of cavemen, really. Like we really are. Like genuinely, we're like a pair of primates.
We're very functional in our fashion. The reason why we wear denim shorts is because they don't show the dirt very well.
They don't show the dirt, and they're made of some elasticy kind of thing, so you last for like 2 years. And you really, like, you can do gymnastics, and then you can do yoga, and you can build your house with them. You can build some carpentry with the shed in them, and you just brush them off. They're grand. I'll get another day out of them.
Like I think one of the fortunate things that we have is, I guess we've worked hard, like in recent years, maybe it's turning 40, you become a little bit more existential and imagining, what's real success and what gives me meaning. And we've kind of really focused on trying to cultivate a lifestyle that we love, where you can get up in the morning and maybe meditate for a little, then meet Dave, and pre-COVID meet some friends, and we do various different training. We swim in the sea every day at sunrise, and there's a wonderful group and community that support each other to do it. And there's great, we have the expression in Ireland, crack agus kyo, which means fun and music, but there's wonderful crack, which means not as in crack cocaine,
camaraderie,
but the sense of the joy, the friendship, the laughter, the support of each other. And we'll have tea on the beach and we celebrate each other's birthdays. Then generally I'll come back and have brekkie with the family and bring the kids to school and then go off and do work. But I guess we've really tried to cultivate this lifestyle that we love, and really that's success for us in recent years. And it's
and just in case anyone's wondering, like, it sounds very idyllic, and it is in so many sense, but we have up days and bad days just like anyone else. But we've a lot of kind of habits and pillars in our life that make us have a lot more good days than other days, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, I was reading something somewhere and I can't remember where it was, but it was about happiness and how you got to create your own happiness. And it sounds like you guys have done, you know, just that in everything you do, starting with these crazy ass morning swims in the ocean. Does the temperature, is it like the same year round? Does it fluctuate at all?
Yeah. And I think one of the fun thing about swimming, like we swim at sunrise, and in Ireland, in summer, it's at 4:50 a.m. and in winter, it's at 8:40. So it really changes. So you got to adapt to the light. And then also in summer, it'll be warmer. Like the sea might hit a maximum temperature of 16 degrees Celsius, but in winter, it might hit 4 degrees Celsius. So it's actually like, they call it ice swimming. So it's freezing. But the one thing that sustains it and makes us do it every day of the year is the friendship. And I think it's a great reminder in these times when, you know, we're struggling. Like in the UK, they appointed a minister for loneliness, and loneliness is a bit of an epidemic. And I think it's a wonderful reminder for me, that sense of community, the sense of togetherness. You can get over the cold and you can embrace it.
And it's symbolic almost that together we face this common enemy of the sea. And it transforms you every morning. You get in there with problems, whinging about something or other, and you come out going, geez, it's a great day. What? Like, it just primes your brain and sets it in a different trajectory where you're more like a 5-year-old than a 45-year-old, you know, which is...
You come out, I always think you come out, you know, in a dog in the morning, it's wagging its tail and it's crazy, and you come out and see wagging your tail going, and you're one of those annoying people that's going, oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh my God, I feel so great. You know, that type of thing.
It's so true. It truly is a rebirth. And I think it's one of the reasons why I swim every morning, 6 mornings a week, except for Sundays. And I couldn't agree with you more, but I am not doing the ocean swim where it's like that cold. And there's probably something about the element of the cold that also really refreshes you.
Yeah. And I think the element of nature, often many of us are disconnected from nature. And I think it's lovely, the variation. I don't know in Austin, but in Ireland, the weather changes. Like often it could be snowing, sunny, windy, rain. Like we could get 4 seasons in one day. So it's amazing how the simple thing of walking down to the sea every day, suddenly, even at the moment, the magnolia trees are in bloom. You get down, oh, it's wavy today. Oh, I saw a little lobster on the beach. Wow, I don't see lobsters very often.
Or the tide, you can see the moon cycles, you know, the moon's waning at the moment. The sunrise typically goes more around towards the east as the year goes on. Like, there's all these little things. You're more connected with nature, which is a nice thing, nice habit of it. And then jumping the sea is almost like mainlining nature, because it's like this bus. It's like this rush of wall of energy just hits you in the morning and bowls you over, you know?
Yeah. What is your, to use your term, what's your favorite brekkie these days, Stephen and David?
You go. Stephen he's very consistent. He's had one lover his whole life, one brekkie lover. He's just he's a horse. He's an inner horse.
Being Irish, I just find it really hard to cheat on oatmeal or porridge, is what we call it. I just adore it. It nourishes my soul. Like sometimes I reckon I have like oatmeal going through my blood. Like I eat so much of it. Like we'll probably eat porridge twice a week for dinner with the kids, because the kids just go, I don't want to eat anything. Can we just have porridge? It's like, yes, we can have porridge.
Now let me ask you this: with your oatmeal porridge, are you doing steel cut oats? Are you doing like rolled oats? What is that?
I think in an ideal world, steel cut is the most healthy. But I think for anyone listening, or even you'll have experienced yourself, often the ideal can be the ideal for a reason. And you kind of have to go with what's practical and what works. Yeah. I use an organic jumbo oat. I think jumbo gives a little bit more texture. I don't know if you have jumbo in the States, but jumbo is like the larger flaked oat versus often there'll be porridge flake, which would be a smaller, quicker cooking one. Just the jumbo will give a little bit of texture, a little bit of bite. I cook it half oat milk. I use half water. So it's like 1 part oat flake, 1 part oat milk. 1 part water, and you end up with this lovely creamy texture. Normally I'll top it with, I might put berry compote, I'll put granola, maybe blood oranges are in season right now, a little bit of coconut yogurt, might put some, we'll tend to really pimp it out and really go to town on it and to make, turn it into an art piece that you love.
Yeah. And do you have is it a medium-sized bowl, a small bowl, a big bowl?
Horse size, stallion size.
Stallion, yes.
No, I have a large size. And even, can I tell you a little funny story about porridge?
Oh, this is a good one.
Like back and this was, I guess, back a number of years ago, we used to make porridge for ourselves in the cafe. And we think, we live in a small little commuter town.
This is 15 years ago. This is a long time ago.
My sense of time is poor. But I remember kind of going, geez, like no one will buy porridge. We're not going to sell porridge. And Sally said, this was the manager at the time. She said, lads, I think we should try selling porridge. And I was like, nah, Sally, like no one will buy porridge. Like, let's give it away for free. And we thought, okay, right, let's give it away for free and see if anyone's interested. So people would come in and they'd go, can I have an Americano and can I have a bowl of porridge? And you go, great. And you give them the bowl of porridge and they go, how much is it? And you go, €3. And they go, €3, but you forgot to charge about the porridge. You go, nah, porridge is free. And they go, wow, cool. And it was kind of, we did that for a week and it kind of created this just nice little bit of a buzz about it. And then it came to the end of that week and Sally was like, right, lads, what are we charging for this porridge? And I was like, I don't know, like €3, €2, I don't know. And then Steve says, can we just give it away for free? Like just for one more week. One feels really good. Like people are enjoying it. And that one more week has been 15 years. And I don't know how many millions of bowls of porridge at this stage that we've given away. Like just plain porridge has always been free for the last 15 years. So that'll tell you how much. And it was really just an idea. It was just something to build community. And it kind of just kept going.
Well, that's your lost leader then right there.
Yeah, long before there was a lost leader, I think. It was 15 years ago.
All right, now, David, what's your breckie?
Yeah, so I feel like I've cheated on porridge the last number of years. I'm sorry, lad. I feel like I'm in a fraternity here of Porridge Anonymous. Porridge Anonymous. I have a chia seed pudding. So we have chia seeds with flaxseed and all sorts of other, cacao nibs and maca or whatever else might be in the press. And I'll soak that in oat milk and then I'll top it with lots of fruit. I'll have apple and pear and banana and kiwi and probably mango and blueberry and then lots of almond butter. And that's my brekkie. And it's like, I have a horse size and it's just like, I just love it. Like it's my favorite meal of the day, pretty much every day.
I hear you. Yeah. So now the chia seeds, when you say you soak them, how long do you soak them before you?
Only as long as I'm chopping the fruit. So I'll soak them all. Like I'll put in probably 7 tablespoons of chia seeds for me, put in a bit of ground flax, put in a bit of maca, probably add in maybe 150 to 200 ml of oat milk, I'd say, and then whisk it with a fork. And then I'd go on to chop my fruit. Take me 10 minutes to chop the fruit for me and Sab. By that stage, I'll have to give the chia seeds another little whisk, little bit more oat milk, and then I'll top it all up, lather on the almond butter, and brekkie's ready, and then sit down and make love to my brekkie.
I love it. Is that a recipe in the new book or one of the old books? The Dave's cheese.
No, I think
it's probably.
I'm sure it's in
book 5.
I'm sure it's in some
the most
course.
recent one. We kind of had fun trying to distill. I guess we were kind of professional chefs for about 15 years, and we kind of wanted to try to distill those learnings down where people can, kind of substitute different ingredients and to think like a chef. So like, say you're making soup, you're thinking, what's my base veg? Okay, what's my stock? Okay, what's my flavor?
Or even a good way to describe it is we tried to kind of like, so we've been running our kitchens for 10 or 15 years. So we've been used to cooking in volume for hundreds of people. So an example of this book, it was vegan cooking for everyone. Like say a granola recipe, we kind of broke it down to a scalable recipe, as in 50% rolled oats, 10% nuts, 10% seeds, 10% dried fruit, 10% sweetener, and 10% fat. And your fat could be coconut oil, sunflower oil, canola oil. Your dried fruit could be raisins or mango or goji berries, whatever it might be. Your nuts could be whatever you have. And your seeds could be, and it could be.
This recipe you could use to make 50 kilos or to make a ton or to make 100 grams.
Yeah, because we literally make tons of granola every week because we, have a product which we sell around Ireland. So that was that's what we tried to do with the full book, to try to make it where it's these scalable formulas so you can adapt and kind of go, okay, I don't have chickpeas, but I have butter beans and kidney beans. I don't have peppers, but I have other fast cooking veg like spinach and broccoli or other things, you know. So it was a fun book. That was vegan cooking for everyone. That was
yeah. Cool. Do you guys have a favorite green leafy vegetable that you like to eat?
Well, now it has to be kale now, doesn't it? I know you're a big lover of kale.
I am. I like the dinosaur kale. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little out there. So on the sprout farm, that's Dara originally started. Like we grow, you know, sprouted pea and sprouted sunflower, maybe fenugreek and alfalfa and clover and radish. But I think sprouted coriander is incredibly delicious.
Now you're being very highbrow there.
Well, you know, like someone has
you're being very aspirational there, Stephen Flynn.
I do like it. It's a lovely flavor to it. It's only in small quantities.
I don't think I've ever had that. You said
coriander. You call it cilantro. So
yeah.
So say you're taking a cilantro seed and you're germinating, you probably get it 10, 12 days old. And it's like that cilantro pack, but it's like super concentrated and like light and almost has a little bit of acid to it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We don't call it dinosaur kale. We call it cavolo nero here. So from America, they'll call it dinosaur kale, but in Italy, it's called cavolo nero, which is like black cabbage.
Cavolo nero.
Cavolo nero, and it's the same dinosaur kale. It's like,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, totally. So what are you guys most excited about right now that you're working on? It sounds like a cookbook, another cookbook, right?
I'm having so much fun at the moment. We just moved house and we bought our first house, which is an old 160-year-old house. And I've been learning to build. Now I say the word build, but pretty much use a screw gun and drill holes in the wall and hang skirting boards. Yeah. And I've been having so much fun. Like I've realized building our hands, you know, the way you become so detached, you're very good at putting a photo up on Instagram, or you're very good at typing out a recipe, but you're not very good at plumbing a toilet or how to fix a leak or, I'm just loving that. I'm having so much fun with DIY.
Well, that's do it yourself, getting back to the basics. That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'd say I'm fascinated with the concept of community. I think it's something I was listening to a video recently during the week, and it kind of really got me thinking of, it was talking about the importance in terms of longevity of our social integration. So like the people you walk past every day, do you say hello to them? Do you say hello to the postman, the person who makes your coffee? Do you have that little bit of chit chat? Because it's very easy in our busy lives to kind of avoid the small talk. And my wife's Polish, and she'll often, you know, slag me how in Ireland our favorite conversation is about the weather. And she'll often joke at me and laugh. But there's now more and more research saying the importance of the small talk and the sense of that social integration is so important for our longevity. It's one of the most important factors they found, that as well as close relationships. So I think is, especially during our disconnected world right now, I think the importance of saying hello and how are you? It's a lovely day, isn't it? Those little chats are so part of the human experience and part of the sense of the sense of tribe and the collective, which we all crave to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was the name of that book?
That was one in the Blue Zone. It was a talk by a lady. Let me tell you.
You'll find out. It was a nice talk. It was a 3-minute clip going out.
But I listened to the full one. It was good.
Did you?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this before we bow out here, and I'll let you guys, David, I'll let you get back to banging some boards at the
Susan Pinker. So Susan Pinker, The Secret to Living Longer, Maybe Your Social Life. You find it in TED, Susan Pinker.
And that was really interesting because it went from, you know, most people think their close family and friends are the number one biggest predicator. And that's what a lot of people would think. She said that it was actually your social integration. And they call it loose relationships. So those, like, and in Ireland, if you live in a small town, they're very prevalent because everyone knows one another's business. But it's those, as Stephen said, you're walking in the street. How are you, John? Lovely day. Oh, geez, love the dog. You know, all that kind of, those conversations, which is.
Yeah. So who really inspires and motivates each and every one of you? I mean, each of you.
My children. Yeah. I think it's just, they press my buttons when they scream and they give out, and it tries to teach me to be more patient. It teaches me to be more present, and it teaches me what love is. So I think that's probably, and my wife teaches me a lot about how to be a kinder, better person. So yeah,
I think all the people, I'd say all the people in my life, and I'm just saying this is me, but I'm sure all of us can relate to that. You know, the way you'll see someone else and a friend will be kind, and you go, I'm going to be a bit more kinder now. Or someone else is kind of nice and thoughtful, and you go, right, I should be a bit more thoughtful. Or you watch a good video and it talks about social connections, and you go, let's talk about this, Steve. This is really good. This is going to help people. So I think this, like, everything inspires me. Like spring at the moment is inspiring me because it's blooming. Like I'm walking in the street, the birds are chirping at 5 a.m. and I'm going, jeez, it's dead, isn't it? Oh, wow. The magnolia's blooming. The daffodils are coming out. The leaves are budding on our street. And I think that inspires me. Like the sea actually, I could just keep going on forever. So I'm going to become annoying.
I think life inspires you. Definitely.
Yeah, and then other times it doesn't. So, you know, it all depends.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You two, I really appreciate you taking time out to, have a conversation with me. You guys shine your light and your love like very few people that I know do. And I think the joy and the happiness and the education that you guys have shared with literally millions and millions of people is breathtaking, and it is awe-inspiring. And I want to thank you guys for being such trailblazing people in the plant-based movement. Thank you.
Jeez, beautiful words, right back at you. Every single one of those words you said to us are just boom, right back at you. So thank you.
Yeah. And I hope that this is the first of many connections in the future. And with that, you guys, will you do a sign off with me? We do.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
I meant to do a little story. I might want to do a little story as well. Here, you say hello.
Just repeat after me. Okay, ready? Peace.
Okay. Peace.
And then turn it around. Engine 2.
Engine 2.
Plant strong.
Plant strong.
Can we do it again? Can we do it again and flow? Okay.
Absolutely.
3, 2, 1. Peace.
Engine 2. Engine 2. Plant strong.
Oh, let me get to show the guns.
Yeah, my guns aren't so big. I must work on my guns.
Is it just me, or don't you just want to be part of their world? I mean, these guys have the magic sauce, and meeting people like Stephen and David only strengthens my resolve that we, as a Plant Strong community, are on the right path. You may find yourself saying, whatever these guys have, I want it. Well, you can have it, and it's called plants. Plants can transform lives and help you cultivate a lifestyle you love. Let's help you. Visit PlantStrongPodcast.com for resources on this episode and all things Plant Strong. See you next week. Thank you for listening to the Plant Strong podcast. You can support the show by taking a quick minute to follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Leaving us a positive review and sharing the show with your network is another great way to help us reach as many people as possible with the exciting news about plants. Thank you in advance for your support. It means everything. Have you had your own Galileo moment that you'd like to share? What happened when you stepped into the arena and shed the beliefs that you thought to be true? I'd love to hear about it. Visit PlantStrongPodcast.com to submit your story and to learn more about today's guests and sponsors. The Plant Strong podcast team includes Carrie Barrett, Lori Kordowich, Amy Mackey, Patrick Gavin, and Wade Clark. This season is dedicated to all of those courageous truth seekers who weren't afraid to look through the lens with clear vision and hold firm to a higher truth. Most notably, my parents, Dr. Caldwell B. Esselstyn Jr. and Ann Cryle Esselstyn. Thanks for listening.